Still see clear signs of the beatings that this track took in the Bosnian War. Look at this thing. It's a hole there. Just look closer on that little pipe or rebar. There's an indentation. Rest your rifle on there. Sniper rifle hole. Smooth landing. Made it up on the Trebevic mountain. Got a bit of an alpine feel here. Cooler, lush greenery. But apart from the thrilling cable car ride and the unparalleled views over the city, this place was also one of the sites for one of this city's claims to fame, the 1984 Winter Olympics here in Sarajevo. Some of the sporting events took place on this mountain, and there's still a lot of traces of the infrastructure left here. Let's go check it out. Look at this thing. The slope down. This would have been the old bobsled track. That's for luging as well.
This is Mount Trebevic, which overlooks Sarajevo with such a paternal vigilance that the 480,000 inhabitants of the city below have come to know it almost as a member of their families. It is the site of an $8.5 million combined artificial bobsled and luge run. The heavy snow has made the course treacherous. Delahunty is a good driver, fine pilot, the British national champion.
Now into 9, now into elaborate. 3 is scared and he's over.
Delahunty's over. We don't see the driver. The sled has been righted.
Sled's back up.
The ride counts because they finished intact. They call this sport an exciting cocktail of speed and centrifugal force. Bernhard Lehmann of East Germany is second, and the Soviet Union, Zintas Igmanis and Vladimir Alexandrov win the bronze in their first ever Olympic competition.
The most gold medals were handed out to East Germany, followed by the Soviet Union, competing in Yugoslavia. So 3 countries that no longer exist. This has become quite the canvas for street art, graffiti. Touch of color. We got Hello Kitty, and this is the mascot for the 1984 games, Vučko. Vučko the wolf. The games were considered a smash hit, a success for the host country, and great promotion for Yugoslavia. It also marked the first time that Yugoslavia had won a medal in the Winter Olympics, so they got to do that on home turf. A silver medal for a downhill skier from Slovenia. You'd be coming in quite hot. Up a bit on the wall, and then continue down here in the valley. Absolute hell ride. The highs and lows of Sarajevo. Imagine in 84 coming off of that high, feeling, I'm sure, on top of the world. And then a few years later, all of that coming to a very violent end. Looks like it might be the start of the track or end. All right. Just walking down the hill here. Came to this little opening. You can see the cable car off there in the distance. Came across this little strange deserted settlement here. There's quite a few buildings here. Quite eerie. You can see that they've been completely destroyed by bullets and shelling. Rough outline here of the garden. See some of the plants, the bushes still growing. This little cluster of buildings located up here on the slopes of the mountain would have been probably the first place to evacuate during the war. You would have had Serb troops coming in over the mountains, and you would have been the first line of defense. So they would probably have gotten out of Dodge pretty quickly. This is the main street that runs through town, right along the river. The street name of this section translates to the Dragon of Bosnia. During the war, it was considered one of the most dangerous parts of the city due to its exposure to enemy snipers, earning it the nickname Sniper Alley. Makeshift signs were put up at street corners warning of especially dangerous areas, although I doubt any of the locals were unaware of the risks moving around this area. Armored vehicles were also used as shields to hopefully get safe passage through this neighborhood. A real sitting duck, fish in a barrel situation. The physical property damage is still very much prevalent. You see pock marks on buildings all across the city. Mind-boggling just walking down these city streets. Standing outside this enormous facade, shell of a building here on the outskirts of town. This was going to be a state-of-the-art retirement community, complete with accommodation and medical facilities. The building was completed in 1992, just as heavy fighting was breaking out across the city. The retirees never moved in. Instead, it became a makeshift barracks for some of the foreign troops stationed here in Sarajevo. They gave it the nickname Rainbow Hotel. You can still see the colorful walls on the building, albeit a bit faded. They did, however, come under a lot of heavy fire and shelling. They're sort of on the outskirts of town, not far from what would have been the front lines of the besieged city. So they had to check out early. I believe they only spent a few months here before relocating. Can't go past this point, unfortunately, but I think we get the idea. They put up this perimeter fence here. Maybe not the most secure one. Don't really feel like getting arrested for trespassing in Sarajevo. Coming around the backside of this new hotel building, you can still see the remnants of the old office building of the national newspaper. This would have been their headquarters. The old high-rise office building would have stood where the hotel building is today. During the war, it was set on fire several times, and eventually it had to be demolished. All over the city, you see these red splashes of paint on the ground. They are known as the Sarajevo Rose, and everywhere you see those, there was a mortar hit, so a little indentation in the ground, and then they fill that in with color, some epoxy just to fill it out. Artwork, memorials across town, reminders of its violent recent past. We are standing outside one of the main historic sites here in Sarajevo. The former Holiday Inn Hotel, now called Hotel Holiday. The local Holiday Inn might not come to mind when you think of historic places, but this hotel has played quite a prominent role in its short history. The hotel was completed in 1983, just in time for the '84 Olympics, and was the international flagship hotel in town. Perhaps not the most visually appealing, architecturally speaking, but this was the place to be seen at the time, lending some international flair to the city. During the war, it became the focal point for all international media coverage. This is where the news crews would stay and relay their reports from. As any other strategic building in Sarajevo, the Holiday Inn was hit multiple times, sustaining quite a bit of damage. But, remarkably, they managed to stay open and cater to the guests, mainly the war correspondents that had set up shop here. Right in the middle of the city parks here, next to the big boulevard. Right here, there is a bit of a curious monument. The so-called ICAR canned beef monument. During the Siege of Sarajevo, there was a blockade on the city, and there was a US-led NATO effort to get in humanitarian aid, food, medicine, things like that the locals needed. This has become a symbol of that time, and this is basically what they were offered. A golden can of beef made in Italy. Maybe a couple parachutes of high-powered rifles and mortars would have been more sufficient, but there was an arms embargo, so can't mess with that.
Yeah, 437. 437.
We've stopped off to take a bit of a break here at the Tito Cafe. It's like a hard rock cafe, Planet Hollywood, dedicated to the former old leader of Yugoslavia. Tito Cafe, listening to Michael Jackson. This is good. All the walls are decorated with memorabilia of Tito and Yugoslavia. So you got old bills, photos of Tito, newspaper covers, maps. A man with quite a varied legacy, depending on who you ask. I guess That's the case with most world leaders. But still widely credited with, first of all, liberating this region during World War II, and then building up united Yugoslavia, both economically, societally, to really become a player on the world stage. So, yeah. And who am I to disparage the man at his very own theme restaurant? Let's head up there, see if we can get a view. Ooh. Thank you. Bye.